Hey folks, Duke Machado coming to you to talk about some things on my mind, things happening in America, our country, a place that we love, a place that we defend, a place a lot of us, prior military veterans, those of us who fought and died, sacrificed. There's so many people who have given their lives and shed blood for this country, and it just really bothers me to see these punk Antifa, hateful anti-American people. I mean, they go around calling everyone else Nazis, but truly they're the Nazis. These guys are agitators. They're going to hit you over the head with a stick when you're not looking. They're going to sucker punch you. They're going to pull you down by your backpack and gang up on you like a pack of wolves. These guys alone, they're little cowards. That's the best way to put it. They're not going to do anything on their own. They call in for backup. They think in strength they have numbers, so they'll call up for backup, load up, and then do something. Well, that's gotten them a pretty good way with this movement. George Soros has done a real good job training these guys and paying these guys to be the agitators. But, they just bus them around one town to the next, one city to the next, causing chaos. 3 or 4 or 5 buses show up with BLM. These guys are heavily supported and funded by your fellow neighbors, your fellow people, Democrats who are living down the street from you with their BLM sign in their yard. They're contributing to the downfall of America. But fear not, fear not. Just when I feel like things are going so far out of line that they'll never come back, I remember we have President Trump at the helm. Still, we have President Trump at the helm. He has his people in place. They are fighting battles that we cannot imagine. Not just against Democrats, but against never-Trumpers, against people even in our own party who resist him. Maybe the urgency isn't quite there yet. Maybe there aren't enough cities burning simultaneously to see what's really happening. But I thank God that President Trump sees it, has seen it since day one, is more concerned about the citizens of this country and the safety of our communities. I love to see local communities and neighborhoods banding together and forcing out these punks. I like what happened, I can't remember, just recently, a neighborhood just drove out an Antifa, a BLM protest. That's what's going to happen. Today I saw some footage, lots of AR rifles, lots of handguns in the crowd on both sides, things escalating, things getting testy. I feel like we're not too far from bullets flying. I just put it to you that way. People are somehow controlling themselves, but it won't be long before one bullet flies and 2 and 3, and before you know it, there's a shootout at a protest. So it's crazy out there. And like I say, thank you, President Trump, and your team, your law enforcing, law supporting team, your Attorney General, our Attorney General, Mr. Barr. Thank you for setting your foot down. Thank you for doing the things necessary to gain control of some of our cities in America. We can't give up our cities. Weak mayors, weak state leadership, governors. You guys, y'all are the problem. Y'all allow it to creep in, and before long, it's overwhelmed. The people can't get to work. The people can't cross the streets. The people are getting pulled out of their cars and getting beat. People are getting shot. A little 5-year-old boy was walked up to by a black man, and black man just blew this little boy's brains out in front of his 2 sisters. You don't see that a whole lot on the media, but that just happened. So, we have to have sane, rational people in power right now, in control, because irrational people like Antifas and BLM groups and protests, they're not the future of this country. They're not going to win out over middle America, over those of us who, we work too hard to give up what we have to people who never earned it, don't deserve it. So socialism, these guys are going around, the anarchists, they want to bring America down. Thank you, President Trump, for just standing your ground. Thank you for having a strong support and love for our police. I know we always knew that you did, but to receive the endorsement you received from the New York police union there, that was huge. That was really big. It says that the people want the police. It's those anti-American leaders who don't want the police. It's the Antifas and all the liberals who don't want police. And we can't let them have their way. We've got to have law and order. That's what separates us from all the other countries. When there's no more law and order, it's just like Venezuela. And, do I have to remind you what Venezuela looks like right now? Maybe I do. These are bread lines. These are bread lines that are happening right now in Venezuela. But what I think is even more interesting is, this whole idea of socialism and how nice it is. This was Romania back in the 40s and 50s. This was when socialism took over Romania. They ended up with bread lines too. It's a common thing to have bread lines, to run out of food. And, a lot of people say that President Trump isn't doing anything for anyone, that, somehow he's not accomplishing anything. Well, I want to talk about these executive orders that he passed here recently. And the reason he did these, it's during the coronavirus pandemic that the Democrats are just, they want to put everyone on national mask, a mandated mask wearing. But it's so critical that they wouldn't pass the bills to get the money dispersed to the people. They were holding up. They were negotiating more pork, more deals for their people, more contracts, more money. They were just waiting and holding out so they could pass out these little biscuits to their districts. But while they were holding out, President Trump says, no, the people need it now. They've been out of work for months. Many people have been out of work for months, surviving, only able to make it because of the extra assistance. And so that expired. And so what was going to happen? Well, American citizens were going to be put in a pickle, still not able to go back to work. They still have bills to pay. President Trump came through with $400 unemployment aid, assistance to renters and homeowners, the payroll tax holiday, which directly relates to your income, and student loan relief. So all these students who are talking about what a pain it is to have a student debt and student payments and things like that, here's President Trump helping you out. So, he's not doing nothing. He's passing so many things that are beneficial to our country. Peace in the Middle East. Never thought it could ever happen. People said, "Oh, that could never happen." Peace in the Middle East. Well, he's making it happen. You've got Israel with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and then you have the United Arab Emirates, which is a conglomerate of Arab nations, and they are on the same footing. They have come to agreements to have a union, so to speak, to have peace, to have an agreement. And no one has been able to do this. President Trump with his team, and I have to give it to Jared Kushner. A lot of people wondered kind of what his purpose was and whether he could actually play a role. And obviously, looking back, for a year and a half, they've been working on this. He said for a year and a half, they've been trying to put this together, and they did it. And so, people can say what they want about President Trump being a warmonger or hateful or sending our people off to get killed, and all these things that Democrats say. So not true. He brought our troops back. He's bringing peace to the Middle East. He's negotiating deals that are putting China and Russia and the rest of the world back in check. And he's draining the swamp. And the more we look into this swamp, the soupier it gets, and the closer and closer we're getting to the top of where all these problems originate. We're going to find out, folks. I believe we're going to find out that it goes to the very top. I don't know. I'm not going to say any names. I don't want to get this video pulled, but I'm just going to say I believe it's going to go to the very top. Now, here's my final message. You see the scrollers. You see, we're pushing registrations, voter registrations. Are you registered? It's real easy to find out. Go to your Secretary of State. They've all got a deal to check to see if you're registered. You type in your name, your address, maybe your date of birth, and it's going to pull it up. If you're not registered, get registered. There's a deadline. I don't know if it's nationwide, but here in Texas, it's 10/5 of 2020. So that's not a whole lot of time to get it done if you need to get it done. President Trump needs your vote. If you're registered and someone in your family's not registered, get it done. We got to have it done. Don't fall for the scam of socialism. Don't fall for all the freebies. There ain't nothing free. Your grandma and grandpa, when they told you nothing in life is free, they meant it. They know it. There's always going to be strings attached, and trust me, you don't want to be hooked by the strings that these Democrats are trying to attach to you right now. Promise you. So anyway, that's it. That's my message for today, folks. I believe Latinos will make the difference in 2020. We're going to vote for President Trump because we support our Constitution. We love this country, and we don't want to turn it into socialist. I'm not going to call it that. Just a socialist slum of the world. Duke Machado, I'm out of here.